Historic Charleston, South Carolina is famous for its genteel charm, cobblestone streets and stately mansions. But less than 10 miles away is another Charleston, the city of North Charleston. A blue-collar town where SWAT teams and narcotics officers wage a never-ending war on drugs. It's a battle veteran detectives Charity Prosser and Jamel Foster have made their personal mission to win.
Thing is, wherever he is, we gonna find him.
There's no other children in the house, just the one.
No.
As a narcotics detective, a good day is putting a dealer in jail. That's a good day. Somebody that was found with about 1.5 pounds of marijuana.
The 39-year-old daughter of a Marine, Charity wanted to be a cop since kindergarten.
I want to get bad guys. I want to help people that can't help themselves.
Charity is still in a military family. Her husband Todd is a master sergeant in the Air Force, and she's moved 8 times for his career. They are raising a 17-year-old son, Taylor. When Todd was transferred to North Charleston 10 years ago, Charity sees the chance to pursue her dream to be in law enforcement.
Her career is really important, and her career is very important to me. You know, her career almost defined her, I would say. I like that about her.
Charity made Todd promise this move was their last.
I love North Charleston. I love the department I work for. I love the area, and this is home.
If I can get her up.
Where's he at?
On the corner.
Jamel is Charity's partner and just as driven to catch criminals.
You're an aggressive cop.
I'm an aggressive narcotic detective. And my passion, I just chase drug dealers.
But Jamel, a Navy veteran, is also a father of 4. He's raising 13-year-old Jamarni, who lives with him.
She gets up in the middle of the night. If she sees me not in my room, she'll pick up the phone and call me. Hey, Daddy, where you at? Oh, I'm at the office.
For both detectives, family often takes a back seat in their relentless pursuit of drug dealers. The epicenter of the drug trade is this nondescript intersection, simply known as the 4-way, in a neighborhood called Charleston Farms.
You drive your car to the stop sign, they'll run to your car, trying to see if you're interested in buying drugs.
They know when the cops are coming, they have little systems set up and they're whistling.
Lee Haley owns the corner grocery store. He has seen its business dwindle as law-abiding neighbors, especially the older ones, are too afraid to shop in his store.
Because a lot of people got robbed out here on this 4-way corner.
The people who call this neighborhood home are resigned.
It doesn't matter how much police activity is out and about on the streets and how much they're arresting them. They go and they get back, they get out on bond and they get right back out on the streets.
But on this Wednesday morning, January 2011, everything is about to change dramatically.
We're going to do 4 simultaneous search warrants at 4 different locations.
A risky and audacious year-long experiment is set in motion. The goal, rid this neighborhood of drugs and violence for good.
Hello, Charleston Police.
Charity and Jamel are excited. Months ago, they laid the groundwork for today's assault. Working undercover, they caught 31 dealers on video selling drugs.
To have the opportunity to go into one neighborhood and start investigating and targeting those people that are really tearing down the quality of that community was exciting for us.
Now, armed with the names of those dealers, SWAT teams break down doors. The operation is a success.
You got anything on
23 people are put in handcuffs and sent to jail. But here is where this experiment takes a radical turn. 8 low-level drug dealers are purposely not arrested. There is something more ambitious and unconventional waiting for them.
We actually thought our part of this was over. We got the bad guys, they're off the street, and we're good.
Hardly. Jamel and Charity are about to be involved in this program in a way they don't see coming. One that will make them question everything about the relationship between cop and criminal. Hours after SWAT teams stormed through the Charleston Farms community, the streets are quiet and seemingly safe.
At night now, you don't see near as much activity or hardly any activity, illegal activity.
South Carolina's U.S. Attorney Bill Nettles devised this program, a year-long, 3-step assault on drug crime called STAND, short for Stop and Take a New Direction. Step 1 has just ended with the arrest of 23 hardcore dealers. In Step 2, dozens of Charleston Farms residents come to court and try to influence the judge to set higher bonds and keep those dealers in jail.
When somebody gets a $200,000 bond over where it normally has been $15,000 or $20,000, big difference.
But now comes Step 3, the most difficult of all. Remember, there were 8 low-level drug dealers purposely not arrested. Bill Nettles wants to save them from a life of crime.
We knew a lot about them. Some of them are selling drugs because they are supporting a habit. And some of them are selling drugs because they had little other choice, or at least they felt they had little other choice.
These 8 men, whether they know it or not, are at a pivotal moment in their lives. None are hardcore violent criminals yet. U.S. Attorney Nettles is convinced intense intervention with education, employment, and counseling can transform them from law-breaking to law-abiding citizens.
We felt that rather than send them to jail, we could get the same positive result for the community without paying to incarcerate them.
And that, I'm thinking, was probably the hardest sell of this whole thing.
Oh, no, it definitely was.
This is a very unique project.
But not for Police Chief John Zumwalt, who eagerly signed his department up for the STAND program. For years, he struggled to drive drug dealers off his streets.
In 2007, we had a lot of murders. 28 in a city our size made us the 7th most violent city in the United States.
Most of it drug-related?
Almost entirely drug-related.
Still, tough narcotics detectives Jamel Foster and Charity Prosser are skeptical of this attempt to reform drug dealers instead of simply arresting them.
What was your reaction?
Wow. Hug a thug.
Hug a thug?
Hug a thug was what it was coined in the office. I was extremely against the whole idea.
Even so, officers fan out in the neighborhood armed with invitations for the 8 dealers. The goal, get the men to come to City Hall voluntarily, where each will be given a choice: accept help turning their lives around or go to jail.
How you doing?
Police find one of the 8 on his bike, Justin Lemon, an unmarried father of 2.
Son, we've got you selling drugs. We've got you in video. You will not be arrested as long as you come to City Hall 5:30 on Wednesday.
Officers soon locate the others.
What's going on, man?
Etienne Reese, 35, is the oldest of the group.
And I'm going to give you this letter here.
He lives at home with his mother, as do most of the other men.
You know, we think you got a lot to offer, and we really want to help you.
The youngest is Danielle Branton. Still in high school, he's the only one of the 8 who's not a dropout. 24-year-old David Major is raising 2 toddlers, but continues to sell drugs. Durrell Butler left his parents' house 12 years ago, choosing to live on the streets. Now at 25, he's the father of 5, with prior arrests for selling cocaine. Terrence Poinsett hoped a basketball career was his future.
I've been playing for high school, but I ain't falling in the wrong crowd.
Brendan Judge is 22. Undercover cameras recorded him allegedly selling cocaine at the corner store.
You have been identified as a street-level drug dealer.
And lastly, there's 20-year-old Jermaine Bradley.
This is your opportunity, okay? To help you get over there and maybe change your life, okay?
The week following the big neighborhood drug bust, residents and law enforcement gather at City Hall. It's a tense waiting game before a carefully orchestrated confrontation between dealers and the community is scheduled to start. Bill Nettles is anxious.
Were you afraid these guys wouldn't show up?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you'd have been kind of a train wreck, right?
Whether it's fear of arrest or a desire to go legit, one by one, the guys finally show up. Justin, Terrence, and the others take their seats on the front row. Facing them down, federal, state, and local law enforcement, all sending the same message. We know who you are, and there's nowhere to hide.
Y'all are fortunate to be sitting here in front of us.
And just to punctuate the seriousness of their situation, a photo lineup right in front of them of all those arrested in the sweep and sent to jail.
Y'all out here poisoning your community. You man up right now and be responsible for the first times in your life. Make your family proud. Make yourself proud. Get a piece of paper with your name on it, sons. I worked for that check. That's how I got it. I worked for it.
The choice is a stark one. Stop selling drugs and accept this program of high school classes, community service, and rehabilitation, or suffer the consequences.
We're going to be watching. And if you screw up in this city, we're going to put you in prison for a long, long time.
At the end of the hour, Bill Nettles gets the last word.
There's hope for each and every one of you. The only person that knows whether you're going to jail or not is you.
No surprise, all the men choose to enter the STAND program instead of arrest. The question now, who's going to take this band of lawbreakers and transform them into honest, educated, and hardworking citizens? Charity is stunned when the phone call comes from headquarters.
They decided that I was going to lead the STAND program. And the first instinct I had was just to hang up. I told them I'm not a social worker. I'm a cop.
Charity's partner, Jamel, gets the assignment too. Both believe this is a waste of their skills as crime fighters. But orders are orders.
Me and Charity just went out, hit the pavement and ran.
It was blind leading the blind. We had no clue what we were doing.
It's February 2011 in Charleston Farms, and backhoes destroy abandoned mobile homes, a favorite haven for drug dealers. While neighborhood cleanup is part of the STAND program,
I think it's over here.
narcotics detectives Charity Prosser and Jamel Foster have a far more difficult reclamation project. Their mission: to convince 8 low-level drug dealers to give up the fast and easy money they can make on the street.
Who is wanting a haircut?
For a legitimate job that pays in a week what most of them make in a single night selling crack.
When you're 19, 20, 21 years old dealing drugs, do you recognize that there's no good ending to this?
They don't think that far. They think day to day.
Day to day.
Hour by hour. There is no savings. There is no children, grandchildren. There is no thought for what is my future going to be. Okay, everybody.
So they start with something easy and fun. A makeover for each man.
You like this one?
We took them to Goodwill. You don't want to put no stripes on top of stripes. Picked out a few suits, dress shirts, slacks. We're trying to get them ready for a possible job interview on tomorrow.
Next stop, the barber shop. Justin Lemon seems to enjoy the attention.
What do you think about the idea of getting groomed up, coming to the barber shop?
I mean, that's a real big thing.
You think you have the potential?
Yeah.
But behind the smiles, no one forgets who's on what side.
They cool people, but at the end of the day, you still gotta remember they police, you know?
Dope dealers are our enemy, essentially, and the dope dealers were cops. We're their enemy.
I think we just have to take off, that badge and let them know we're a human being.
It's a careful balance between empathy and law enforcement. The rules of the program are simple. Full participation is required and no drug dealing. Anyone caught selling will be arrested and forfeit this second chance.
You got your randoms today.
Random drug testing is mandatory. In this neighborhood, dealers often carry drugs for sale in their mouths.
The reason that they did that so that if law enforcement got out with them, they would just swallow the crack. That got rid of the evidence.
So a positive drug test could reveal who's still selling crack on the side.
We were a little suspicious, so we selected 5 that we were really concerned about, and we had all 5 fail.
All 8 men begin drug counseling immediately.
What we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about marijuana, and I'm going to show you some of the things that it affects as far as what happens to your body when you use it.
But the program is more than just keeping the men away from drugs. It's teaching them skills for a new way of life. The men with children need parenting classes.
So you're emotional right now. You can't control your emotions, all right?
Others require guidance in filling out job applications.
Yeah, just down here in the summary part.
The men struggle with this new structure that consumes every hour of the day. Rushing from part-time jobs
Get us a chance
to counseling sessions and more job interviews.
The roller coaster is learning their personalities, learning what the niche is to get to them as far as getting them to focus and what is important to them. We'll go find somebody to make a copy, and I just need them to trust me to show that this is possible, that people can change.
But trust isn't the biggest problem right now. Money is. Justin Lemon gets one of the first temp jobs offered to the group. It pays better than minimum wage, but it isn't paying the bills.
$10 an hour, I still consider that minimum wage. And it's chump change, man. But you know, that's the right way, but I don't like living like this, man.
But 2 months into the program, the guys are still holding up their end of the deal.
Hey guys, glad to see you all. Everyone bring their homework?
Charity keeps a tight rein, organizing a mandatory weekly meeting for the group.
What have you been doing this week?
These sessions are part lecture,
Like I told you from day one, we can't want it more than you want it.
part practical skills.
If they tell you to be at work at 1, what time you need to be there?
12:30.
That's what I want to hear.
And a lot of encouragement.
Detective Foster and I are extremely proud of you guys and the progress you guys have been making.
Darrell Butler, who has the longest rap sheet, emerges as the group's leader.
Work, eat, sleep, back to work. But I'm glad for the job.
Always upbeat, the younger men look up to him.
He can motivate them to participate in a whole lot of the programs faster than we can do it, you know?
When a local church starts to renovate an elderly woman's home, Darrell is the first of the group to volunteer in the neighborhood where he used to sell drugs.
We help fix this house here.
This house?
Yeah, I feel good, you know, to be giving back and doing something for somebody.
People look at you funny knowing you used to sell drugs here and suddenly you're back and...
Yeah, they couldn't believe it.
But while Darrell is making great progress, Charity is ready to kick Etienne Reese out of the program. He's not showing up for appointments and falling behind the others.
Yes, ma'am.
Charity calls his mom.
He's not there, he's not participating, and his attitude, quite honestly, is completely negative.
Etienne's mom begs Charity to give her son another chance and brings him to the police station to face the detectives. The problem, he says, he's afraid his peers think he's a snitch.
You need to stop worrying about what people think about you.
If someone can possibly harm me, I'm not supposed to worry about that?
Who gonna harm you getting educated? Who gonna harm you working? Who gonna harm you with those things? We're not sending you on the block to ask you for no information what's going on out there. We want you to get your education. We want you to get a job.
If somebody was on the other side of the law, who's going to just all of a sudden just change in one day so I like the police?
You don't have to like the police. Like yourself enough to want to make change for you and your son and your mother and your grandmother and the rest of your family. You don't have to like the police. Not at all.
Etienne decides to stay in the program. And the next morning, he is one of the first to arrive for the group's volunteer work in the community garden.
Every Wednesday, there's going to be like a groupie that comes out and just kind of makes sure everything's looking good over here.
There's a lot of people in the neighborhood that are hungry, and this is good. We're going to take some of these vegetables out and give them to some of the old people and all that in the neighborhood, and that's going to be good, and you're going to be helping them.
It's good, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, I'm proud of you guys. You take care.
The whole time we were out there, I didn't hear one complaint from the guys.
Smile.
They just got in there and just had fun watching each other.
There is more to be proud of. Brendan Judge just learned his boss at his temporary job is so impressed he can now go full-time.
I was watching Brendan as he was getting the news, and his face lit up, and he just started smiling and started saying, yes, ma'am, thank you. So he was extremely ecstatic.
But soon, there could be big trouble for the STAND program.
Hey, how you doing today?
Informants are calling with the same news about one of the men.
My phone was blowing up. You know, I tried not to pay any attention when I first got the information because I didn't really want to feel like this guy was coming in here, pulling the wool over our eyes.
It's nearly 4 a.m. when Detective Charity Prosser leaves her sleeping husband and 17-year-old son.
I slept for about 2 hours, got home about midnight.
To drive a complaining Justin Lemon to a job 30 minutes away.
I'm tired too, Justin. You got some responsibilities. We just talked about this last night with your mom. Your mama needs help making those bills, okay? You're living there. You need to help her out. You just not feeling like going to work isn't going to cut it.
Most of the men have no driver's licenses or car, so Charity and Jamel are constantly behind the wheel to classes, appointments, and jobs. This morning, Jamel Foster drove Brendan Judge to his work.
At the end of the day, we gonna make things happen for him, but once we out of his life,
he got to learn to be responsible and be on time for it.
It's an exhausting pace, virtually 24/7, with no guarantee this program will even work.
This is me and my daughter live together, and I'll probably go home and might cook some breakfast and get me a nap and make sure she gets to school on time.
In the process, the detectives' own families often get the short end. Charity's husband, Todd, never knows when she'll be called out.
There's times, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, phone ring, and she'd be gone. And, she'd have to go, maybe, go help this guy out.
And no one needs Charity's help right now more than Terrence Poinsett.
Talk to us. You need to tell us what you got going on.
It's crazy, man. I got family problems.
Poinsett's mother is seriously ill, and money is tight.
Tell us what we can do to help.
Every time I talk about that, I get emotional, so I don't want to talk about that, man.
These young men struggle to discuss personal problems, yet rare moments like this reveal the pressures and urges that might pull them back to the street.
I don't know what to tell y'all, but y'all can do it.
Man, how you know if we can't help you?
I be scared,
You're doing good in the program. You know that, right?
I hope so.
Look at me, though. Look at me, though. You've never lied to me, right? I want to see you succeed in this program. That's all I want.
I want to, too.
Exactly. You know how positive your mama is? You know how brave she is? You have that in you, too. He understands that honesty is essential with us. If they come to me and they tell me they have a problem, we'll address it.
All of the time spent with each man, the meetings and the driving, is changing the detective's attitude about their assignment.
It's consumed my life. I wouldn't have thought at the beginning of the Hug a Thug program that I would have become so attached to these group of guys.
To get a chance to help somebody change their life. Any case I've made money, guns off the street, can never replace this experience. 1357.
Then, just as Jamel and Charity begin to believe these men can truly change, their hearts are crushed.
Me and Charity gonna go down Clements Ferry Road.
The detectives are chasing down a tip by a confidential informant that Darrell Butler, the leader of his peers in the STAND program,
work, eat, sleep, back to work,
is dealing drugs.
Oh, man, Charity.
Charity and Jamel watch as officers go through Darrell's car on the side of the interstate. Inside, they find his fiancée, 2 children, and $3,000 worth of cocaine.
Mr. Buck, on behalf of myself and Detective Prosser, man, we're very disappointed in your actions, man.
I got so much respect for y'all, man. I feel so bad, man.
I'm not going to lie to you, that broke my heart. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know how to feel about it. It just killed me.
Well, Darrell, let me tell you something, man.
I just throw my life away.
You did.
Darrell asked to say goodbye to the guys now left in the program. They are stunned to see their leader in handcuffs.
I'm going to let Darrell be the one to explain to you guys what happened and why he is wearing handcuffs.
Got caught out with a trafficking charge. He ain't coming home. I won't see none of y'all in the predicament I am.
All the guys were in tears. It was very hard for, I think, everybody to just acknowledge that we lost him.
Charity hopes Darrell's arrest is a wake-up call for the 7 men still in the program.
Detective Foster and I love you guys to death, but we have a job to do. So that means if we got to love you in this room and go out and lock you up later on, then that's what we got to do, because that's what we're going to do.
The guys embrace Darrell. It seems his mistake has made a huge impression, especially on Terrence Poinsett.
I hurt everybody, so I couldn't just sit and look at him,
But less than a month later, Terrence fails a random drug test.
You gotta do some soul searching. You have to do some soul searching.
Across the room, the news is much better for Brendan Judge. He's passed his drug test.
Yeah, hanging up on the wall, man.
I gotta get several more of them.
It's a daily reminder, but that's the first step, though.
Yeah, it is.
4 o'clock. Let's go.
The detectives hope the success at drug testing will follow them to a critical part of the program, the chance for the men to earn a GED.
Carry the 1,
All but one of the men dropped out of high school, and they are now far behind academically. Charity adds one more job to her growing list of responsibilities. Tutor.
Are you sure? Okay, hit no. I sit right next to Terrence and help Terrence out and champion him, and let him know, you can do this.
Every day we're going to practice these, okay? A little bit every single day.
The only one not here is Danielle Branton, who still attends high school. Charity doesn't see him as much as the others and worries when she hears his girlfriend is pregnant.
He's 18, hasn't graduated yet. He's got a baby coming. How's he going to be able to afford it?
2 days later, Charity gets the answer.
Right now we're heading over to the Charleston Farms area in the process of searching for Danielle Branton.
Danielle has sold crack cocaine to a confidential informant.
We got him at Sledge.
Listen, how come you out here still selling dope?
You have to understand, if we're standing here, we already know. How many times I tell you need a job? How many times
I went from the school, man. I'm about to graduate.
So you're willing to be out here and work, but you're not willing to get a legitimate job and make money. How is that even fair?
Did you not understand what Darrell was telling you last week?
You should have known we got Darrell. Did you think we weren't going to get you too?
5 months into the program, and 2 of the 8 men are in jail, unable to quit the easy money made on the streets. More than ever, the 6 men who remain depend on Charity and Jamel to help keep them from doing the same. But none of them knows Charity is wrestling with a personal crisis and is about to make an agonizing choice.
Every day I go back and forth. My heart's split in two. My heart's in 2 different places.
By springtime, the 6 men still in the STAND program make this a weekly ritual. A bond has grown among them that helps soothe their private struggles. The one struggling most right now is Justin Lemon. Justin is $1,600 behind on child support and is ordered to court facing possible jail time. If that happens, he'll be expelled from the program.
You've only made 1 payment in April.
Jamel and Charity attend the hearing to show their support.
I could feel Justin's body shrink. Could almost feel him wilt next to me.
Charity makes sure the judge hears about the progress Justin's made at work and school, then stands by his side as the judge renders a decision.
You do not have to spend 30 days in jail.
The judge suspends jail time if Justin obeys a payment plan. For now, he's free and clearly impressed with the effort the detectives made on his behalf.
I got people who was on my side who was rooting for me to do the right thing, like cheering me on. That's really helping me,
There is little time, though, to savor this victory.
Our target is Terrence Poinsett.
Terrence Poinsett is at a fragile point. He failed the drug test 2 weeks ago. It's a sign he could be selling drugs to solve his money worries.
You got the arrest warrant.
A drug raid in a nearby apartment confirms it's true.
We are currently en route to execute a search warrant. It's in here.
Before, success on the job for Charity meant catching drug dealers. Now, it feels like failure. For the 3rd time, she's arresting someone she's tried so hard to redeem.
It's a hard thing to deal with. I had extremely high hopes for him.
I ain't trying to make no excuses. Don't think I make no excuses, bro. You've been flat, broke.
You've had access to me 24/7. When you call, I answer. If you don't reach me right away, I call you right back. I never treated you any differently than I treat my own. How do you think it makes me feel sitting here putting one of my own in handcuffs?
The atmosphere at Charity's home is even more tense, with a secret none of the men in the program knows.
We're in the process of completing our packing.
The Air Force has again reassigned Charity's husband. It's a 4-year stint, 5,000 miles away in Hawaii. And despite his earlier promise to keep the family in North Charleston, Todd expects her to come too.
For my family's sake, I know realistically the best thing for me to do is go.
But that choice carries a stiff penalty. If she follows Todd and son Taylor to Hawaii, she'll lose 11 years of seniority on the force, and have to start her career all over again.
Now check this one and make sure this one's right.
Weighing heavily in her decision are the men who still struggle to become something more than a mugshot.
You know, I've asked them to trust me this long, and it's not fair for me just to drop off the map and not complete it.
On a dreary July morning, Charity and her family arrive at the airport.
I think so.
And with a goodbye kiss, it becomes obvious Charity's made the decision to stay in South Carolina.
How did you make the decision?
I have a real hard time starting things and not finishing them.
Meantime, you don't have a home.
I have a home. Somebody else is living in it. We've rented out our home that we own.
Not to be too personal, but where do you sleep at night?
At my office. Sarge's got a very comfortable couch.
Some would say that's a huge sacrifice, being separated from your husband and son, sleeping on a couch for the benefit of 8 ex-drug dealers.
Well, it's that and the love of the family that I have here in law enforcement as well.
Sarge, we got transportation.
They got lucky.
Charity's decision is challenged a few months later.
This is for the store.
The general areas.
Word on the street, Justin Lemon, the one she supported in court and drove to work at 4 a.m., is selling crack.
Let's go. Let's go buy some dope.
A confidential informant sets up a deal with Justin to buy crack. She's wired and waiting.
He ain't making no deal at all if I don't go to the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, I copy that.
When Justin shows up at the meeting spot, he's suspicious, knowing 3 of his fellow group members have already been arrested for dealing.
This your phone, dog. See the police.
I swear to God it's not.
Detectives fear the informant is now in danger.
All right, everybody, go ahead and take him down. Take him down right now.
The informant reports she saw Justin swallow the crack he was about to sell.
What the hell?
If he has, the drug could kill him.
Spit it out. Justin, spit it out. No. Justin, spit it out now. Spit it out. Roll him on his stomach.
Justin Lemon's second chance for a new life ends face down in the dirt.
Spit it out, man.
It seems he hasn't swallowed crack as officers feared, but he is caught on tape trying to sell it.
I can't believe you're back out here doing this.
Charity has no choice but to arrest him.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Despite the jobs they found for him and the 24/7 attention they've given, Justin lashes out at the detectives.
Cause y'all ain't done for me this time program, dog. That's the reason why I back out there. This set up. I ain't give a man. This ain't cool, dog. And you, my Charity, you the dirtiest one of all the motherfuckers. Why? Cause you talking about we gonna change. We can't change. Y'all trying to help us?
Charity and Jamel are furious.
Do you think I'm going to give you a break when you're in here destroying this neighborhood again? You have the audacity after this community gave you a break. That's how you repay them. You come back and you start serving dope to their kids.
Justin's arrest comes at the end of the grueling year-long STAND program. Half of the 8 dealers have failed, throwing away a once-in-a-lifetime chance for an education and a good job by returning to a life on the streets. Yet half of them have slowly but surely put themselves on a new path. Without drugs in their lives, they now have hopes, plans, and even dreams. We sat down with 4 of them, 2 who failed and 2 who succeeded, to get their perspective.
Or did you have more?
First, we show them highlights of their past year, video they've never seen before. For Brendan Judge, it's been a year of firsts. His first full-time job, first bank account, and first opportunity to rent his own place. He is one of the program's successes.
What was the best memory on that tape for you?
There's so much, from the go to world to school to me working. Just everything just made me be like, hey, came a long way, man.
Well, tell me what you're doing these days.
On the back of the garbage truck, community, dumping all the trash.
How's the work?
It's a blessing, man. $11 an hour, I can't complain about that.
David Major is another success story. He's landed a full-time job with the city and a part-time position as a cook in a restaurant.
What is it like to earn a paycheck?
It's good, man. You're looking for a check, getting it legit, got a bank account.
For 6 months, Terrence Poinsett did well too, until Charity caught him back on the street selling drugs.
When the handcuffs were slapped on you, what was the most difficult part of that?
Tell you the truth, I'm not glad to be in jail, but I'm glad I get caught. If I ain't never get caught, I probably would have still been doing the same thing.
Early in the program, Darrell Butler was the group leader in class and at work.
Was the program working for you?
I see myself starting to change, and I starting to like it, you know.
But like Terrence, Darrell wanted quick money, tried to sell drugs on the side, and got caught.
If I knew what I know now, I'd get a second job. I'd work 2-3 jobs right now if I can turn back the hands of time.
All of the men agree the program's most important element is jobs, because without the officers' help, few businesses would have hired them with their criminal history.
Brendan, you don't think you could have gotten that job on your own?
No, you got the law who put a foot in the door for you and telling people, give them the chance, and that's what happened.
David, tell me about Charity and Jamel, and personally, what they have done for you.
They talk to me and tell me to do it right, like they're proud of me. They were like a friend, help me, inspire me.
Now that the year is over, this group is moving on. Terrence and Darrell leave our interview back in their jumpsuits and join Danielle Bratton and Justin Lemon in jail. But David, Brendan, Etienne, and Jermaine work at making a go of a life that once seemed beyond their reach. Whether they succeeded or failed, these men believe the year-long experience was worth every minute. At the four-way, the people who live and work here in Charleston Farms agree things are better. Thanks to the massive drug busts, the cleanup projects, the cooperation between residents and police, and the effort to save this group of young men. At the store where street drug dealers used to scare away customers, owner Lee Haley now stocks more merchandise for a growing clientele no longer afraid to shop there.
I see more older people come into the store that I hadn't seen.
At the community center, neighbors celebrate the change in Charleston Farms.
Since this program went into place, it's been tremendous.
This is the place almost the way it used to be.
So a dramatic turnaround.
Yes, I would say so.
It is the outcome U.S. Attorney Bill Nettles hoped for when he first launched this program.
Now that this seems to be a success,
right?
Are there other communities that are saying, we want it?
Yes, there's other U.S. attorneys that are talking about it. And I know here in North Charleston, they're already talking about replicating it in other neighborhoods, and I'm working to replicate it across the state.
And no one will be more supportive than the two detectives who once believed they had no business rehabilitating drug dealers.
What do you got?
Were you surprised at what you learned about them as people?
Very. They're human too. They just made some poor decisions and didn't know how to get back on the right track.
Not only did we learn a lot about them, we learned a lot about ourselves.
Right.
These days, Jamel continues to keep new dealers from undoing the progress made in Charleston Farms. And Charity, she stayed in North Charleston and has been promoted to Sergeant Prosser.
There were 8, now there are 4.
Right.
Is the program working?
You know, if we started off with 100 and ended up with 1, the program worked to me.
If we can affect one life, that's a ripple effect through that family. Their daddy's not in jail. They have somebody there constant, somebody to teach them right from wrong, to teach them respect and responsibility. That in itself, if we could just save one, if we can just help one, the ripple effect, you're talking countless people.
Right.